Fantastic. Welcome to Sam and Rachel, the vlog. But I don't think we're doing a vlog today. We're doing something more for the spiritual side of our channel, because we are a Christian couple. So we will be doing. We're gonna have a little discussion today about a Bible story, which we want to make a weekly thing, because Friday night sunset to Saturday sunset is our Sabbath. So we would like to, show our viewers this side of us as well. Today we'll be discussing,
Samson and Delilah.
we won't be going into great detail about it, but we will be looking at different aspects and trying to figure out what they were thinking in this instant or in that instant. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so if you're looking for the story of Samson and Delilah, it will be in Judges 13 to 16. We will be discussing Samson's life. As you may know, if you're familiar with the story, it is a story of love, about faith, and sadly betrayal. There's a lot more elements to it, but we're only going to be dealing with 5 questions today, as we want to, not drag on. So, our first question today we'll be looking at is.
So I guess, we can start off with, why didn't Samson date or marry someone from his own nation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His own nation, yeah. That's one of the more interesting stories. One of the most interesting, one of the parts that I wanted to touch on, because it's very interesting to me, especially nowadays, where folks, obviously, how can I say this? Outsource? No? Everyone dates who they like or who they fall in love with. But his parents urged him to date only from within his tribe.
I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know if it's his tribe specifically or just like the whole nation of Israel.
Yeah, not I mean in his community. I mean not really in his specific tribe, but yeah. So I meant in his nation, so to speak. But I feel like he's a young man, warm-blooded, hot-blooded. He just went out and he went out and did his own thing, disobeying his parents, which, as we know, is one of the commandments: honor their father and their mother. But I don't know. It's hard because you're a young man. You see a young lady. You want to explore that option. However, he was known for this. Though. She isn't Delilah wasn't the first person that he dated. He actually married.
He married someone else before, but then I can't remember exactly what happened.
She died. She did die. She got killed, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because. Oh, I remember now. Because, so he married her, but then, they were doing, some riddle type thing. Or he was doing a riddle with, her brothers-in-law or something like that. Or his brothers-in-law, whatever. It was a riddle. I don't remember exactly, but then, what happened? And then, they didn't understand it, and then, he told her, and then she told them, and then they came back to him, oh, we have the answer, and then he was, mad, so then he left her, and then she went with, his friend or something, I don't know, and then he killed them both, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
He killed them both?
Because he was mad about it. Because he left her, and then she went with somebody else, and then he wanted to go back with her, but then she was with somebody else, and then he was mad and killed somebody. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
I think it was the riddle where it's out of
something strong for something sweet or something like that, remember?
Out of
something like that, I can't remember.
I got it.
Gotta look it up.
Yeah, second.
Because he's talking about when he killed the lion and then he got a honeycomb from his belly or something like that. Obviously they wouldn't know what he's talking about. So, yeah.
Out of the eater something to eat, out of the strong something sweet. Out of the eater something to eat, out of the strong something sweet. That's what it was,
Yeah.
and no one could figure out what that meant. But he told his wife. This is at his engagement party, maybe I think,
Or their wedding.
or their wedding
Party,
ceremony or something.
Yeah.
Or something. But he told her, because she told him, she asked him to, but she was compelled by, I think, it wasn't her brother-in-law. I think it was. I think she was a servant of the some high official or whatever, and the high official invited himself to the party, and then they were all drinking and something, and then they got too excited about this. The riddle came out. I couldn't answer it.
Wasn't there like they were gonna like win something or whatever if they got it right? Like there was like a prize or something.
Yeah, we can actually turn to Judges and like.
Samson's marriage. There you go.
Okay, perfect. So we turn to it perfectly. We're in Judges 14 right now, and it says Samson went down to Timnah, and he saw a young Philistine woman who he returned. He's really into Philistine women.
That was the thing.
That's
I think that was a part of the problem because like they were like
the enemy nation type of thing, and then he's like, like I don't care about that, but it's a big deal, like, but yeah, whatever. So it says, when he returned, he said to his father and mother, I have seen a Philistine woman in Timnah. Now get her for me as my wife. His father and mother replied, isn't there any acceptable women among your relatives or among our people? Which is what we were saying. Must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines to get a wife? Samson said to his father, get her for me. She's the right one for me. So he's very persistent. He didn't really want to sue his parents, as most of us would. I guess I don't know if he was. I think he was still young, hot-headed. With great power comes responsibility. So we've heard. So I guess he just got a bit heady, perhaps. I don't know. And his parents did not know that this woman was.
That this was from the Lord.
Yeah, who was seeking an occasion to confront the Philistines, for at that time they were ruling over Israel. Wait, verse 5.
Okay. Samson went down to Timnah together with his father and mother. As they approached the vineyards of Timnah, suddenly a young lion came roaring towards him. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, so that he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. But he told neither his father nor his mother what he had done. Then he went down and talked with a woman, and he liked her.
He liked her. So sometime later, when he went back to marry her, he turned aside to look at the lion's carcass, and in it he saw some of bees and some honey. He scooped out of the honey with his hand and ate as he went along. When he rejoined his parents, he gave them some, and they too ate it. But he did not tell them that he had taken the honey from the lion's carcass. Now his father went down to see the woman, and there Samson held a feast, as was customary for young men. When the people saw him, they chose 30 men to be his companions.
Let me tell you a riddle, Samson said to them. If you can give me the answer within 7 days of the feast, I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. If you can't tell me the answer, you must give me 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. Tell us your riddle, they said. Let's hear it. He replied, out of the eater something to eat, out of the strong something sweet. For 3 days they could not give the answer. On the 4th day, they said to Samson's wife, coax your husband into explaining the riddle for us, or we will burn you, or we will burn you and your father's household to death. Did you invite us here to steal our property? So
they used manipulation really to get that answer, and that's pretty uncool. So that's kind of what happened there. So that was his first wife, and we know she died. That's not what the question was about.
No. The question was, why did he?
Yeah, I guess he just wanted to, basically.
Yeah.
From what we've read, like, he just like, I want that, go get it. So that's the answer. Comment down below if you wanna.
If you have an answer to the question,
yeah, like
you have an opinion.
Put your opinion out there, yeah, in the comments. Question number 2 is.
Second question.
Just wait, whichever.
Okay, so if you know the story of Samson, he has like supernatural strength, and he also, okay, let me rephrase that. So in the story of Samson, so before he was born, an angel comes to his mom and gives her a set of rules that Samson has to follow all his life, and one of those rules is that he's not allowed to cut his hair, and if he follows those rules, then he will have like this supernatural strength. So the popular notion
right here. These are the things that he can't do.
Yeah, so he can't drink wine. He can't eat any unclean food, and he can't cut his hair. Right. So a lot of people think like they just hear the story of Samson and they just assume that his strength comes from his hair. So
it's a very popular notion
about that. Yeah.
It's a very popular notion. Yeah. But strength actually did not come from his hair, nor from not eating meat or unclean meats, or from
not drinking
wine. Strength came from God.
Yeah.
That's where his strength came from. And it's very popular. People be like, oh, his hair, it's because he cut his hair. That's why this.
Yeah.
But these are just guidelines set in place so that you could, it's between him and God to maintain trust. However, it's like, because he had broken those commands, that is why the last one he was to break was cutting his hair.
Yeah.
And he did well. He didn't do it specifically, but
yeah, but
Delilah cut his hair.
Yeah.
And we know what happened after that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened there. So his strength. So in answering the question, his strength came from God. That's who bestows all strength to us. So that's
yeah. I was thinking like, because when he like eventually tells Delilah like why he's so strong or whatever, I feel like maybe he started to believe himself that like, oh, the strength comes from my hair, and he kind of like forgot that it actually is coming from God. It's not you. So yeah.
It's easy for us, like when we're put in certain positions, to get carried away with the position that we're in. For example, Samson had super strength, so he felt indestructible and unstoppable. But if he had kept the commands and remained faithful to God, I feel like the story would have been very different.
Yeah.
Been very different, very, very different. It's just very sad because, like, even for example, going off topic here, even Solomon with great strength, great wisdom, even he himself went to worshiping the gods of his wives. So you see, like, it's very sad that when certain men are put in positions that they get corrupted, and it's a pattern in the Bible. Like even Adam, it's just such a terrible line and terrible events that happen with these gentlemen. Oh well.
Anyway.
All we can do now is learn from their mistakes and apply them to our lives.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next question.
It kind of leads into our next question is, what do you think Samson was thinking when he woke up after Delilah cut off all his hair?
Yeah, it's a good one right there, because I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but it's like I feel like he like, she keeps asking him these questions, he keeps giving her wrong answers, he keeps waking up with these weird situations or finding himself in these situations where whatever he said to his wife happens the next day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean,
I guess he should have expected it.
I mean, like, what did you expect was gonna happen? Like, you could say blinded by love, I suppose, but
Yeah.
if someone loves you, they won't like, oh, are you telling the truth? Like, if I like bind you with ropes and stuff, will you lose your strength? And then, I mean,
Yeah.
like, you don't test them like that. That's not what you do. Like, then again, um, Rachel brought up a strong point when she said maybe he actually thought his strength came from his hair. So that's also another thing to be mindful of. We should never forget where our strength comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, and also their parents. Because if he had dated a woman from any among his relatives or from among his people, then still, again, different story, different timeline. But all things work out for God's glory. So
Yeah.
sadly, he had to die. But because he's one of my favorite like Bible characters, so like the story's just like so tragic.
It is tragic. Yeah. I think also this is kind of off topic. Well, I don't know. It's still about Samson, but not about the question. But I think I remember hearing someone like maybe in a sermon something that, like they're saying kind of like one of Samson's problems was that he like loved somebody who didn't love him back, like with Delilah, because like obviously she didn't love him and she's just trying to like sell him out to get money. So yeah, but he didn't see that because he loved her, but she didn't love him back. And I guess I don't know. That was another problem.
Yeah, like you go to. It's funny you go to sleep, and then you trust this person with this secret, and you wake up and you're bald and she has a bag of cash. It's
Yeah.
it's very eye opening.
Yeah.
Which is also ironic because they blinded him, so that's also like brutal. Like the torment he faced after that was brutal. Like he probably he learned his lesson, but like at this point, like it was just ridiculous how much he had to go through to learn the lesson that God is in control and God is the one who is the author, finisher, and the bestower of strength. It's really sad that he had to go through all of that to get to where he was at the end of the story. So that's really sad. I mean, that's very heartbreaking. And I hope that for our sake we don't wait till we're at that point before we realize that God is in control. So
Yeah.
I think we have more questions.
We have one question.
One more question.
One more question. About the end of Samson's life.
Yeah. We wanted to see what you thought
Yeah.
about how his story ended.
Yeah. So, if you don't know, so as he said, Samson got his hair cut off. He got captured by the Philistines. They blinded him, put him in the.
Put him to work. They put him to work. Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't have his strength anymore, and they were like making fun of him in like one of their festivals or something like that.
They put him on they put him on display like a like how people would like if they like shoot a lion or something, they put put it on display, or like a deer, they put the head out, they put him in between the pillars, just there to be like, oh, like this guy killed like so many people, so many of our people, and now we have him here.
Yeah. And so he, in his last moments, he prayed to God to have his strength restored just one last time so that he could, finally do what he was supposed to do and, beat the Philistines. And God answered his prayers, and he pushed the two
main pillars
pillars
aside, and he pushed them
both out,
and he ended all the lives
and everything
of
crashed
those,
down.
Including himself. So,
well, not an explosion, but just everything was destroyed.
A big crash, boom, crash.
Yes.
Type of thing going on there.
Yeah.
And that's how his story ended.
Yeah.
Very sad story.
Yeah.
For a man to have done even greater things. But we thank God for his story, because now we know that we can avoid these mistakes in our lives. We can learn from our predecessors and from the other prophets and people who've done mistakes in the Bible, and we can learn from those mistakes and lead our lives. So we thank God for that story, and we thank you for watching our vlog today. Please join us next week for another Bible time with Sam and Rachel.
Yeah.
And we will see you then.
Yeah, so if you have any answers to the questions that we asked, comment them down below. We'd love to hear you guys' opinions.
Definitely.
And yeah, make sure you like, subscribe.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell for our upcoming videos.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Ding ding ding.
Ding, ding, ding.